Alright guys, welcome back to the Combustion Guys YouTube channel, and we are back looking and hunting through the Darlington Throwback paint schemes. Alright, let's start off looking at the Xfinity series paint schemes. First off, we got, what's his name? Carson, last name Kifipal. I have no idea. Can't pronounce the poor guy's last name, but Carson there in the one machine. He, of course, is going to be sporting the 2010 Jamie McMurray throwback paint scheme from, obviously, Chip Ganassi Racing. Looks very nice. A little bit odd on the Xfinity body, but it looks pretty good. But down below, we have an even better paint scheme. We have Parker Retzloff in the Ernie Irvan throwback, the Kodak film mobile, and boy, that car looks really, really good. Can't wait to see that on track. That thing looks sweet. We also got Brent with just an out guy. They're not really throwing back to anything remotely NASCAR related. They're throwing it back to like their heritage, which pretty cool. Gives it an old style, old feel, so that's nice, but not NASCAR related, so we have to move on from there. And then this one, this is the 2003 Dale Earnhardt Jr. 3 doors down throwback scheme. I do not recall this one. I don't know what's going on with it. It looks interesting, but definitely not iconic from my memory anyways. But down below we have an iconic paint scheme. That, of course, is Adam Petty, his 1999 number 45 Chevrolet, being raced by Daniel Dye. Car looks really, really good. They should have done a little bit more swoop here with the green, honestly, but other than that, the paint scheme looks really, really good. So that's a nice tribute back to Adam Petty. Always like seeing that. And this one, I'll have to look this up. Oh, his Army scheme. Okay, good. So colors are going to be off on this because the Army scheme obviously was going with more like the gold color from what I can remember, but doing the alloy, kind of got the same font and then similar style. So it's not bad with Josh Williams in the 11, but definitely not true to the paint scheme in color anyways, but not bad. Looks pretty good. And then we go down to Garrett Smithley in the number 14. He's throwing it back to 1993 with Terry Labonte, and those are some nice paint schemes back then. And this one looks really good with Trophy Tractor. Trophy Tractor nice enough to change up their logo font as well, just to be able to make it look as realistic as possible. So that is really nice. I like that. Then we got William Sawalich in the JGR 18 Toyota, and we're throwing it back, obviously, to 2016 Kyle Busch and NOS Energy, and that is a nice paint scheme. Colors are a little bit off, it looks like, at least in this render, but I like the style. It looks really, really good. So 2016 Kyle Busch throwback. Sweet. Then we go down to this. This is Christopher Bell in the number 19. He's thrown it back to his racing mentor. That is Rick Frickle. Frickle? Yeah, Frickle. And interesting paint scheme. I think it's a dirt car from what I remember, so it's a little bit odd trying to transfer that to a stock car, but it does give a nice old feel to the car anyway, so I mean, looks good, not bad. And then we go to Matt Kenseth. We are throwing it back with Brandon Jones in the 20, and he's throwing it back to 2013 Matt Kenseth. One thing they did not add was the orange on the rear end of the car, which I am thankful for. Having just a plain Dollar General paint scheme looks great, and thanks to the sponsors, we got Turtle Wax on there, Menards. They did a really good job of keeping the sponsors and stuff looking really, really good with the paint scheme, so nicely done on that one. Moving down, we got Harrison Burton throwing it back to Jeff Burton, his dad, with the throwback scheme from 2000. Beautiful looking paint scheme, and really good props to Dex Imaging, who did all of their work with changing up their logo and stuff to make that paint scheme look like that. That is excellent looking paint scheme. Looks great on the Mustang as well, so that's a really nice Mustang. Then we got Dean Thompson, and he's throwing it back to Jamie McMurray, a Talladega throwback scheme. I do not remember this one. 2009. Yeah, I don't remember this one, but it doesn't look bad. Looks good, like the yellow flames and stuff. I'd have to see a picture of what this actually looked like, but it doesn't look bad. Then we go down and we see a nice throwback to Ward Burton, and that is a beautiful paint scheme. This is a Hardee's paint scheme. This is being driven by Jeb Burton, his son, in the Jordan Anderson number 27. But beautiful looking paint scheme right there. Changed up the font and stuff. It looks really nice. So nice Hardee's throwback paint scheme for Ward Burton. Then we get a Ricky Rudd throwback paint scheme from Kyle Sieg, nice looking paint scheme. Like these paint schemes. He's always really good looking, so like that. Then we've got the number 39, and this says it's a reverse throwback paint scheme. So I'm not necessarily sure what that means, but Dale Jarrett is what they're trying to go to. It seems like I remember Dale Jarrett racing a Taurus with these type colors, but I don't remember for sure. But hey, I mean, it looks a little bit more, it looks a little bit older, so it's a nice looking paint scheme though. Looks good. Then we got Sam Mayer. They're trying to throw it back to Kurt Busch's Daytona 500 win from 2017. Not too hard to do since you got Haas there anyway, so it makes it pretty easy. I don't really see. It looks like a Haas car, so it's pretty easy for them to get that done. Looks like they tried to put a bush on the front of the nose of the car too, so that's interesting. So not bad, interesting paint scheme. Then we've got Anthony Alfredo. He's got the Randico Inc. paint scheme, throwing it back, of course, to Sterling Martin and Jamie McMurray, who ran, of course, the ice train there, whatever that's called, Silver Bullet car. Beautiful looking paint scheme. Love the colors on those as always, and also the original was a Dodge too. That's pretty cool. Foreshadowing for 2027, we hope. We'll have to see. But good looking paint scheme, and once again, got to do props to the sponsors that switched up their logo to make it match. Nicely done there. Then we got Brennan Poole. He's supposedly throwing it back to Jeff Gordon and the Chroma L'Illusion Purpline throwback scheme. I know it's Looney Tunes. That's what I know for sure. I do not personally remember this paint scheme, but I know for sure that that is a Looney Tunes reference paint scheme. But it looks good. Nicely done on the throwback, and supposedly merch might be available. We'll have to find out later. Then, of course, we're sending it back to Circuit City, it looks like, with Capital City Hauling. That's pretty cool. And the Jimmy Spencer No Bull throwback scheme. Looks good. Nice looking paint scheme there with Mason Massey driving that. That's going to be nice looking. Then we got a throwback from Big Machine Racing, and they are throwing it back to Bobby Unser's Indianapolis 500 throwback paint scheme. Yep, I remember one of those. Not bad. Not bad. It's really hard to do an open-wheeled car to a stock car body, but they got the basic colors down, so that looks pretty good. Moving on down, we got Harrison's. They are throwing it back to Harry Gantz, of course, the Bandit car, and beautiful looking paint scheme. Always kind of like these, especially like just that old style. I love these, especially like the old Mountain Dew paint schemes. That's the one I'm thinking of, but it just fits into that same style. Really do like the style on these race cars. Love these throwbacks. Those are nice. Then we got probably one of my favorite paint schemes, Making a Splash 2000 Jeff Green Championship throwback, throwing it back to, of course, Nesquik on the car. Beautiful looking race car. I love that. So that man, I need some Nesquik. That's a nice looking car. Beautiful paint scheme, like that one. And then taking a look, we got Ryan Ellis throwing it back to Ryan Ellis. Original. Looks good though. Nice paint scheme. I like it. But yeah, it's throwing it back to yourself. That's pretty cool. I do like the fender flares though, having the checkered flag. That's a nice style. I do like that. That's pretty cool. Moving on, we've got, and I really can say that this really looks more like a Dale Jr. throwback than it looks like a Buddy Baker throwback. But I digress upon that. It's a good looking paint scheme, but it really does remind me of a Dale Earnhardt nationwide paint scheme more than Buddy Baker. But that's just me. Either way, love the race car, love the colors, looks good. Then moving on, we of course have Matt DiBenedetto in the number 99 Viking Motorsports, and they're throwing it back to Jeff Burton's 2000 car. We got the lightning, we've got the bright pink, we've got the blackout in the back. It looks good. Why can this team not get any sponsorship other than themselves? I don't know, but they're killing it with the paint scheme. So nicely done for them. It looks awesome. Nicely done. Alright, time to look at the big guys, and this is Austin Cindric's. What's weird is it's the Ford with Dale Earnhardt paint scheme. Interesting. Also, I think Freightliner could have probably switched up their logo a little bit here, but I digress upon that. Good looking paint scheme. It looks nice. I like that classic 2 from Dale Earnhardt's past. That's a really good looking car. Then taking a look at Next up, we got Noah Gregson here with the 1996 Dale Earnhardt Jr. Throwback. If I'm heard or watched the stuff correctly, this is like his first race car he ever drove, if I believe that's correct. So interesting paint scheme. Looks good though. Like it. So beefaroo. Gonna give me some beef. But anyways, but that looks really, really good. Then we're moving on down. We got Kyle Larson in the number 5. Throwing it back to Terry Labonte and Tony the Tiger. Beautiful looking race car. Merch sales are through the roof as always. And we also have the very important question: do you have got cars? You got cars? Do you? Interesting. Beautiful paint scheme. Well done. And then we have the Abomination. Then we have back to classicness, and of course we got Ty Denton in the 1989 Petty Moise, I think that's how you pronounce that, throwback scheme. And looking at up here in the 45, and then looking down here, yeah, it looks pretty close. Pretty good. Sometimes I do like the solid colors with just limited color. It is pretty cool. Just that's really going to the way back old style where they had the paint stuff instead of trying to save some money. Just hey, basic kind of car, put a quick little stripe of paint to make the spots pop, and you're good to go. And that looks really, really good. So that's a nice looking car. Then we've got Denny Hamlin throwing it back to 2000 Carl Edwards in the old Office Depot, and thanks to Sport Clips, they actually did a decent job of matching their logo to the car. Looks good. We got Ryan Blaney throwing it back to Dave Blaney in the Xfinity series, and I'm pretty sure the colors mismatch, because if I'm looking at that, yeah, so Haas Avocados is a green paint scheme, whereas Paint Boy decided instead of switching up their logo to be green for just a few moments, they had to have blue. So they messed up the paint scheme, but it's decent looking. But they still messed it up nonetheless. So that's on them. Moving on, also the font, they did change that up. So that looks good. The font change looks good. So we'll give them on that one. And then once again, we got Gibb. The Gibbs 20 with Bell honoring his racing mentor, Rick Ferkel. And I believe this is a totally different paint scheme from the other one. So the other one was more white base, I think, and this one's more the yellow. So once again, dirt car being translated to a stock car. Hard to do, but it's an interesting looking paint scheme nonetheless. Then we've got the Wood Brothers throwing it back to the Jim Clark Indianapolis 500 throwback paint scheme, where they were on the pit crew for the 1965 Indianapolis 500. Beautiful looking paint scheme, very classic looking. Got the classic Lotus colors on board along with Ford, and that's just really, really good looking paint scheme. Like that. I love these paint schemes where you get that nice white oval with the numbers sticking out. Those are good. So nice looking paint scheme there, and also a cool story that I kind of knew but hadn't really heard the whole thing on. So that was really cool. That obviously Wood Brothers were giving Jim Clark the pit crew to be able to race that car. So that was pretty neat. Then Joey Logano, he is throwing it back to, Cale Yarborough, and I believe this is the Holly Farms throwback, but beautiful looking Pennzoil. They even changed up the logo a little bit. It looks really, really good. It's a sharp car. It's a nice car, so very, very good. Like that one. Then we also got Jeff Gordon's, I think this is his last race paint scheme, and that is pretty. Classic Jeff Gordon paint scheme there on the William Byron machine. Looks nice. Then we've got, this is a new one that I had not seen. This is Todd Gilliland Ray Fox throwback scheme. Raymond Fox. I can't read that text, but Daytona Beach, Florida is where this car raced at. And they even got the little side text on the nose and stuff to try and match. Nicely done. Sometimes just these classic white paint schemes with minimal stripes, they really do look good. So that's nice. Changed up the font and everything. Good looking car. And then of course we got Zane Smith, not really throwing it back to a NASCAR paint scheme, but throwing it back to the original Long John Silver's theming. So nicely done on that. They're getting in the spirit. Nice. Then we've got this one. This is Jimmy Spencer and the Target Mobile and Cole Custer. Nice paint scheme, very minimalistic, but they did a good job being able to use the Haas logos to be able to fill in for the Target logos. So nicely done. Seems like there's a lot of textures and stuff that are missing because of how many sponsors there used to be in the sport, but I digress upon that as well. But still, good looking car. Then we go to this. This one's interesting. So this is 1998 Joe Nemechek. For John Hunter Nemechek, obviously. I need to look up this paint scheme because I do not remember this one. Alright, so after a quick look, let's just say that they absolutely ruined this paint scheme. Yep, that's what happens when the sponsors will not work with you on anything. So, yep. We're moving on from that. We got the Advent Health Mobile, and this is throwing it back to the 1998 John Andretti Throwback paint scheme. It would be good, but there's a problem with this paint scheme. It's on a Toyota body, and the Toyota body does not work with this paint scheme. I'm sorry. Also, anything Richard Petty and Toyota doesn't work at all, but that's my hot take. Nicely done. Nicely done with the Axbone paint scheme, throwing it back to Chad Knaus's 48 car. Looks very nice. Then we've got the final paint scheme, and this is throwing it back to Warburton's 1990s Caterpillar paint scheme, and Jacob Construction on there looks very, very good being able to do that. I think they could have changed up the font a little bit to get that more of a Caterpillar vibe, but still, it's a nice looking paint scheme. Changed up the font on the numbers, I think, a little bit, and I'm not sure about the wheels. We'll have to wait and see how those look on track, but other than that, the rest of the paint scheme looks really, really good. Alright, so now let's talk about the top 3 paint schemes I'm going to take for the Xfinity series here. What are my top 3 paint schemes? We got a lot of them here as we scroll on past. Well, I gotta go with the 4 Kodak car, because one, it is the 4, and it is the Kodak car that was the 4. And so I gotta go with Ernie Irvan, so that's one of my top 3. Not really in any particular order, just as we go here. Adam Petty's a nice one. Terry Labonte, that's a nice one. Nice throwback. Doesn't really pop for me, but it's a good looking paint scheme. They did a good job of that. Rowdy Bush, that's a nice one. This one's a nice one for Matt Kenseth. That looks good. This one, we'll come back to that. That might be one. And I do like the Hardy's paint scheme. I do like that as well. It's so hard for so many choices. So many choices. I've got to go with Nesquik, though. We got to put Nesquik in there. And so Nesquik, the Kodak film throwback car, and then it's a toss-up between the Jeff Burton paint schemes. It's either going to be Matt. I think we got to go with. Yeah, we got to go with this one. We got to go with the Dex Imaging one. Throwing it back to Citgo Fuel because that's just. I love that paint scheme. That thing's really good. So, alright, then it comes to Cup, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky because obviously, in, no matter what. It's just that, it's in. That's in. This is in the trash can. This is in my top 3. Trash can, top 3. That's how we do that. And then we gotta pick the other 2, which is not gonna be easy because that one, and then that one, ooh, oh boy, yeah. So it's going to be tough here in a bit because we got to look at the rest of these. Actually, there's not as many as I thought. Okay, so that made it a little bit easier. I thought there was another one that I really, really liked, but actually there's not. So that made it a whole lot easier as I just double check, and I'm correct. So, yep, so we got the number 5, and we got to go with Joey Logano's a throwback to Cale Yarborough and the Holly Farms paint scheme, and we got to do the Jim Clark. I know it's not NASCAR related, but because it's, well, technically it is, because it's Wood Brothers. Wood Brothers did the work on the car, so technically there is a NASCAR crossover there if you really want to make the argument for that. So we're going to go with that, because that is a beautiful paint scheme. That's classic Ford retro paint scheme right there. It's just beautiful. So, top 3 in the Cup: Joey Logano, Josh Berry, and of course, automatically on top. There's no contest or question. The number 5 of Kyle Larson just has to be. So, anyways, guys, that's going to be it. Let us know what your favorite paint schemes are from this year's throwback race at Darlington. And we will see you guys here next time on the Combustion Guys YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.